All right, well, I'm gonna work on the Dakota tonight. So it's been a little bit since I've done much to it. Last time we were working on it, we just pulled the motor and trans out, found the crack bell housing, and it has kind of sat since then. But I'm kind of making some plans to get back on it, even though we're in the middle of playing around with Gramps. This is the 5.3 from my truck, and we're just kind of looking at some things, and I just kind of have it sitting in place for now. But we're gonna be getting to work on this thing pretty hardcore soon too as well. But today I'm gonna start prepping the truck for a Ford Explorer 8.8 rear end install. On one of my videos a ways back, I went to a junkyard. I found a Ford Explorer that had the axle code for 373 and a limited slip, and I pulled it out, and they do really well in these trucks. They're actually just about I think it's 4 inches shorter on each side, so it'll tuck the wheel in a little bit. They have disc brakes, and it's a stronger rear end than the 8.25. This thing has done really well for me, but I'm liking to get to a point where it may not. And since I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna try to get a lot of things done. So that's gonna include maybe new leaf springs installed, definitely some cowl tracks, and I'm also going to lower the rear of the truck. So that leads me to what we're doing today, which is going to be taking the bed off, because in order for me to lower the rear of the truck, the way I'm going to do it with leaf spring like perches, or not perches, but they're where the shackles mount, we have to cut the old ones out, pop them out, and put new ones in. And it's going to be a bit of a job, and it'll be a whole lot easier with the bed off. Plus, since I'm taking the bed off, it'll help me have more access to the rear end when we do the rear end, so we can get it lined up where it needs to be and centered. And yeah, anyway, so, you know, there's a lot to be done. We're going to coat the frame and all that, but today's video is basically just going to be pulling this bed off, and I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that. I have it jacked up on stands right now. You don't necessarily have to have it jacked up on stands, but I had to take care of some stuff, because if you have a stock Dakota, well, your battery's not in the back, and mine is. So I've already gone through the trouble of making sure I got all my wires pulled out of the bed. I had them secured along the bed, and I don't want to rip those guys out. So I took the time and pulled all that stuff off, as well as pulled off the fuel hoses for the gas tank. And so I'll show you that, and I'll show you how this bed mounts. Literally, there's 4 bolts on each side, and I'll show you those locations. I think my truck only has 4 bolts in total, which means 2 bolts on each side, which that has to do with me being young and dumb a long time ago, that I never fixed that. I just realized that the other day. So let me get under there, show you where the bolts are. We'll pull them out, and then I'll show you how I'm going to try to use the engine crane to get the bed off myself. So first of all, this is the very back of my truck, my tailgate side of the truck. This is actually the roll pan I have installed. If you have a bumper, you're gonna see your bumper brackets and everything right here. But right here is one of the bolts for the bed. And now I'm missing this bolt because I never put it back in when I was a youngster. And that's a bad move on my part. But you'll have a bolt right here next, like kind of by your bumper. I don't think the bumper has to come off to pull the bed off, but I can't tell you that for sure without looking at it, so just kind of make that assessment. But the other thing I want to show you while I'm back here is all this. Now, I found a used trailer harness. Actually, I don't even think it was used. No, yeah, it was. It came from another parts truck that I had bought. So you may not have this thing in the middle here, but it's actually really easy to unhook your tail lights. so you don't have to take your taillights off if you don't want to. I do realize that I have a ground right here that I'm going to need to remove, so I will work on that. But let me show you where the next bolt is for your bed. And if you just come back about 16 inches from the front bolt, you'll have another one right here. So that's where the two rear bolts are for the bed. I don't think there's one on the next rung, and it doesn't look like that. So you'll have here and here, and then the same thing on the other side. So if I can show you the other side, you'll see one right here. And then again, you'll have one where all my battery stuff is right now, so you don't see it, but you'll have one by the end of your bed as well. Let me show you the other two, and then I will pull these bolts out and we'll get ready to pull this thing off. Now we're looking underneath the driver's side of the truck, and you can see here, these are my fuel line hoses. So my big hoses that go to the fuel tank. So I've removed the fill hose and the vent hose right here. You're gonna have to remove these to pull the bed off, so make sure you do that. But right here, kind of almost in line with the back of the cab, is your next bolt up here. Now, remember, this is gonna be symmetrical, so you'll have one on the other side too, the passenger side. And yeah, you'll wanna pull that dude out. And then I'll move you over here to the last one, and you'll kind of see, all right. The last one I want to show you is kind of in the wheel well, and it'll be right here. So it should be pretty obvious when you look at them. I hope my camera angles show them all. I'm not going to show you the other side because it's the exact same. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull these guys out. Okay, here goes the plan. All the bolts are loose, or they're taken out of the bed. And here are my little friendly ratchet straps. And so I'm going to use two of these guys, if I have two of these guys. I do. To lift this bed up so I don't have to do it by myself. But I've got to figure out how I'm going to strap them. So let me figure that out, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, I already ran into a bit of a problem. In order for this engine hoist to straddle this wheel here, I'm gonna have to take off my traction bar. Let me get that done. Let me take that dude off, and then I think we'll be in business then. All right, I think we got it covered now. Let's test it out. Is that in the center? It's pretty close. I think we'll be okay. The tire's not going to let me go much more, and I don't feel like taking it off. So, all right, let's get these tie straps figured out. All right, let's look at the tie straps. So pretty basic. I just have two. I forgot the weight. They're 1,000 pounds. I can see it right there. I just kind of got it going in the corner here of the bed stake, and I've got them crisscrossed with the chain in the center. It's probably gonna pull a little bit here, there, whatever when I start lifting it, but I think we're gonna be okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think we're gonna be all right. There's holes in the bed, like in these stake pockets, sort of, where I have the hooks through there instead of in the stake pocket itself. It just seemed like a little bit more secure. And well, I say we go ahead and try to give this thing a try. Let's try to pick this dude up and see how it works out. there you have it. That wasn't too big of a deal. I don't think the straps are overloaded because they're 1,000-pound straps. They're a little taut though. But I think if I had to do it again, and probably some of you guys may have already said, why didn't you do it this way? I probably should have came in with the cherry picker from the backside, lifted the bed up, and then rolled the truck forward, because the way I did it, the rails on the cherry picker did not allow the truck to roll forward. So like the bed kind of hit and drug here and there and kind of hit the back of the cab. This truck's not a perfect truck, so it's not too big of a deal for me. But if you have a nice truck, nice paint, definitely think about doing it the other way, or at least have a friend that can maybe hold it back a little bit while you pull it out. So if I had to do it again, I'll do it that way. I'm gonna try to get this thing spun around. I don't know if I can, because I like to try to stand it up on its end, so it's kind of out of the way. So let me try to figure that out, and we'll kind of go from there. Alright, I think I'll get it figured out. All right, that was a tad bit sketchy because I had to unrelease the ratchet strap, but we're good. Everything looks fine. I can still get it all out of there if I need to, and it's not going to go anywhere sitting up like this. I didn't damage any panels. That was already damaged, so you can't blame that on this whole endeavor. Looks like somebody was doing some burnouts. I'm not sure who, right? Man, there's a lot of rubber on this thing. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, it looks good. Now you can see the bare bones of the Dakota and the attention that it needs. It's got a whole bunch of dirt on it and stuff, and so I'm gonna grind it all down and coat it up. But this is what I'm gonna be replacing here, this one and this one back here, for the lowering kit. So with that bed off, I have fantastic access to it, and it's going to make it a whole lot easier. So, plus, like I said, this rear end is going. We're gonna see it maybe another day and something else, but it's not gonna stay in the Dakota anymore. I love that my pumpkin from when I was about 17 years old. Let me know if you want me to put that on a shirt, because I kind of always wanted to put it on a shirt. Anyways, see what you would think about that. Yeah, it's in good shape. And while I was under there yesterday, I drew a little cutout here, because yes, I'm gonna cut this bed, and a lot of people may not like that, because this is almost a pristine bed. There's not an ounce of rust on it, And well, I need to be able to service that a whole lot easier than the way I can now. And I don't want to put a fuel cell in this thing. At least not right now, because it's just nice to have this here and out of the bed. And well, that's just the way I feel. This stuff works pretty good, and I don't really want to mess with it, especially since Holley makes a fuel system that goes right in here. So there's not a lot of reason to put a fuel cell in it when I can use this as my fuel cell, and I can keep it working. I can even use the gauge on it, whole 9 yards. So we're going to leave that there for as long as we can, because especially when we go turbo, the exhaust is still going to go out the passenger side. So again, there's still no reason to have it there. But I do want to be able to get to it easily if I need to. And with that hole cut in the bed, I'll be able to. But I am going to make some kind of panel for that hole in the bed so that it's not a problem. Anyways, that's it. That's it for this one. I'm hoping it's a pretty quick video. Yeah, we're going to get started on this thing while we're getting started on Gramps. So there's going to be a couple projects going on at once pretty soon here. If you saw my paint video, this is almost ready to sand, and I really think once I sand it and buff it out, it's going to look pretty darn good. So I'm excited about that. I'm not excited about that I have to do that, but the color match is pretty good on it, so that'll work. So anyways, obviously we have a whole bunch of projects. If you're new to the channel, come check out and see what we got. If you'd like to follow along, please consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed, we really truly appreciate you guys. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we're gonna keep going on this. By the way, we have turb skis and wastegates for this thing, and I'm going to show you guys probably on the next video. This is getting real. Gramps is getting really real. And if you don't know what it is, it's going to be a twin turbo 4.8 liter GM motor. Low power purists are not going to be happy about that, but it works. It's a good combination, and that truck's going to be pretty fast. So anyways, yeah, that's it. I'm gonna end it off there. So again, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Until next time, you know the deal. Y'all be good.